Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show. Peter Yu. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast, but make sure you subscribe to the podcast first and foremost. If you're on Spotify, click on that follow button. If you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button. And then if you're on Apple,
Subscribe, the bell,
do all that stuff so you stay up to date. We saw the stats, right? We saw the stats, and it was like 60% of people who listen to the podcast aren't subscribed, aren't following, so guys, go do that right now. If you're driving, wait until you pull over, but definitely subscribe to the podcast.
Yeah, so you get as soon as we upload, you guys get the little notification, and then you can just jump right in,
That's right. We have a new business advisor. Well, I do, so, and he's been advising me. This guy, Artie, he's a kind of a genius, and he's been like, gonna have that call to action. He's looking over all the data. So data-driven decisions moving forward.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, this has been like a side project, our side project, but I think we're just trying to take it to the next step.
Yes, to get to the next level. For sure.
So that you guys can have better experience. Anyway, so what are we talking about today?
Getting back to judo after a long break. Very difficult to come back.
Yeah, and this was a suggestion from Joe, one of our subscribers or Patreons. And he basically said, like he's getting back after after a long break, and then his daughter started training, so he started joining her, and then like now it's like there are some struggles, right? Yeah,
definitely.
What will be after a long break? What the struggles are, and then like how we could manage them so that we can get back to it faster.
So I think a lot of the times you got to examine why you left in the first place. That's the most important thing. Was it an injury? Was it that you didn't feel safe in the gym? If you didn't feel safe in the gym, when you go back, you're still not going to feel safe in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like maybe that's actually the issue. Sometimes life kind of gets in the way. You don't go for a week. You have a hard time going back the second week. No one reaches out to you, right? And that's kind of how we lose a lot of students, right? Oh, man, I've been going to this gym for 2 years. I missed a week of practice and no one texted me. No one misses me. Now it's awkward to go back, right? 3 weeks has gone by. It's like, man, I haven't been training at all. I'm going to go back, get smoked. Like, it's very difficult to go back after that, And then eventually 2 months go by and you quit. And a lot of it is just like, okay, if that happened to you, that's partially your fault and partially the gym's fault and your training partners for not keeping you accountable. But majority of the blame should lie on you if that's how you left.
Yeah. You could have always gone back.
Yeah, you could always gone back, and it's just kind of these like psychological barriers, and so easy to kind of, because judo's hard, training's hard, jiu-jitsu's hard. I have work this week, so I'm not gonna go once or twice. And then it's like, is it really an urgent thing for you to miss? And I try to not miss unless it's absolutely urgent, because if I miss Monday or Tuesday, right, not that urgent, and then Thursday or Friday, like an emergency happens at one of my Airbnbs or something like that, I have to go. And then if I didn't train Monday and Tuesday, now all of a sudden, I haven't trained in the mornings, right?
Yeah.
You're out a week. So it's like, whenever I can, and I always try to say, is it a reasonable excuse for me not to go? And being banged up not to go is not usually a good enough thing, because you could still go and tell your partners, like, I'm really nursing the shoulder today. I'm only one working on this today. I'm only going to work with these guys on the side today. But showing up is like 99% of it. 99. That's too much. Showing up is a big percentage of it.
At least half.
Half, because if you don't show up, you're not getting any training in, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're walking in, but okay, so some of the different reasons. So let's and you just
gotta examine that. You gotta examine
try to think about why you haven't been going. I mean, it's perfectly valid. If you're too busy, people get busy, and I mean, going to a practice takes a couple of hours, right?
It does. It's a huge chunk of your time, and sometimes it's a nagging wife. Hey, why are you gone Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m.? You work till 5, you go to judo, and judo starts at 7, then you work out till 9, and you're not back till 10 p.m. 3 days of the week. That's not okay, especially if you have a kid at home.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, then you like pull the membership for a little bit. You have a conversation with her and say like, oh, I'm not giving relationship advice here. But you got to carve out time for yourself because you got to use martial arts as a tool to make yourself better, right? You can't take away from your life, which a lot of people, it happens to them. It happens to me. I get obsessed and I'm training every day. And now all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, like
Yeah, that's not good, right? Like you
No.
need to be balanced. And then yeah, it's like it's a perfectly valid criticism from this hypothetical nagging wife if you're just like away from, your daily duties.
Hypothetical nagging wife. Nice one, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, could be a hypothetical nagging husband too,
Definitely. So,
Anyway, yeah,
understand, what are the upsides, the downsides. And I think for the first time in my life, I did tell somebody recently, like, you don't have to go every day. Like, you don't have to train every day.
yeah,
You don't have to train every week. If it's stressing you out and it's something that you're obsessed, you lose sleep over it. Now, all of a sudden, it's taken away from your work and you're playing catch up. And
yeah,
then now all of a sudden you work too hard and then you get really frustrated. Like, this thing that you're doing with grappling is not making your life better, bro. You know?
yeah.
You need to
That's
take a
very
little bit of
true.
a step back and then just come to open mats.
Yeah.
And I told him that. And when you come to open mats, you can't throw down with the young guys because you're not a young guy anymore. And
Uh,
because you're not training, you're gonna suck. But you're gonna have to be
yeah,
okay with it. You're just gonna come in once in a while when we do an open mats once a month. Just show up, talk to your friends, make it a social thing. Work out, break a sweat, work out with a couple of the same people, work out with some of the beginners, feel good about yourself, and then go home. And then if it's making your life better again, then come back.
yeah.
So I had that conversation
I think
first
that's
time.
yeah.
I've never
I
had that
kind of
conversation
yeah.
before.
I kind of went through that on my own. I think yeah. It's when as I got older, like my stamina is not as good, so I had to kind of adjust my mentality. Yeah, just we've talked about why one would leave,
Yeah.
um, and before coming back, like examining, like, is it really beneficial for me to come back, right?
Yeah.
And so, okay, so determine that, okay, you know what? I've, examined it enough and I'm ready to come back. I think it'll make my life beneficial. And you come back after, I don't know, a year and you're not in grappling shape or your body's not used to being thrown around, all of that. So I think those things, like, and then, new crop of blue belts or green belts come up and they've gone past you. So all these struggles like that, how should we prepare ourselves to be back on the mat?
That's a very
Like,
good question.
is it should we go before even going back? I think a lot of people, I see this type of questions a lot on Reddit, like either like absolute beginners who are about to start or going back, like should I go to the gym and then try to get myself into shape before going back to the mat? What do you think about that?
This is the thing, man. If you can get in the shape that you want to be in
Yeah.
for yourself, just to look good and feel good,
Yeah.
you're not going to do it to get, to go back to judo. You're just not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not already working out in the gym 2 or 3 times a week because it makes you better and like it's not part of your routine, you're not going to do it for the sake of going back to judo, period. So it just acts like another step that you have to overcome, which you'll probably fail at. So, I don't agree with that at all. Like, I want to lose 10 pounds before I go back to judo. Losing 10 pounds is not going to help you with your judo endurance. It's a different type of endurance. Not different type of endurance, but just the efficiencies are different because it's a skill-based energy thing. Skill-based energy efficiency / endurance.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, we
Judo
talked
and
about
endurance.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had Olympic rowers come in, 2 minutes on the mat, they're dying because they're so inefficient. They're just spazzing out, all locking, like shaking and stuff. They just die.
Really? Olympic rowers came
We had
by?
an Olympic rower once.
Yeah.
This was maybe like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are, was he a heavyweight rower?
Tall.
Yeah, tall.
Probably like 6'5", 6'6", tall,
And then
lean,
he's
220.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most in shape guys I've ever seen. And I was like, take it easy, it's hard, And he's like, you've never met a guy more in shape than me. Was like the tone / message,
I mean, he if he's at that level, he's in shape.
He's in shape, but you know what?
Yeah.
He shot it on a double or something. Guy had him in a front headlock. He couldn't breathe, And for 20 seconds straight, he's like spazzing out trying to get out of it. And the guy just like held onto his neck and he couldn't breathe. And he's like, scratching at the guys and he eventually taps. He's like, holy moly, gets up, gets tackled down to the floor, and he wants to catch his breath, but the person's putting all their weight on him. He's like pushing him off, pushing off. He's getting held down. Now he's kind of like panicking and hyperventilating, and he was done in a minute and a half. And it was the most satisfying thing I've ever seen.
Well,
He was like,
that's
I can't believe I've never been so tired in my life. And I'm like, you know, and he's like, you know, but it's like different.
yeah.
It's just different, you know.
It's different. If we were to go rowing with him, we would be smoked. Like we'll be so
I
tired.
wouldn't be able to row for 30 seconds straight.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like yeah. So it's better to once you decide to go back, it's just better to just go back right away.
Better
Like
to just go back and then not even worry about endurance or stamina because
Yeah.
it should be about skill development. You're not there for
Yeah.
conditioning. And that's one thing that you could blame the dojos and the teachers. You know, you go to a dojo and they're doing 100 jumping jacks, 100 burpees,
Yeah.
100 push-ups. They're sprinting up and down the thing, doing all these like mechanical drills. Like, for what reason? For what reason? 30 minutes in, they have not done one skill-based drill. That's a fail to me. You know what I mean? They do 10 minutes of judo, 10 minutes of teaching, 10 minutes of live, and then it's like, all right, guys, line up on the line for sprints or something. It's like, what the for?
Yeah.
You know, so like,
just so skill because it's more about it should be more about skill acquisition. It's better to just show up and then I think a lot of times what happens is you will, as you do more judo, BJJ, you will find deficiencies in your game, or you know, like your stamina, endurance, strength, whatever, and then you're more motivated to go to the gym to get better at judo.
Yeah. The best exercise for judo to get in judo shape is judo.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
that doesn't mean you neglect outside weight training, sprinting. All those things have a place, right?
Yeah.
All those things have a place, like work on your symmetry, getting strong overall, doing sprints. Yes, important stuff. You know what I mean? But that isn't the bulk of your training. And you shouldn't have to have those things first before going to judo. If you want to go to judo, you should just go to judo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then having a conversation with your teacher. For instance, like I have shoulder problems now.
Yeah.
I like my shoulder hurts.
Yeah.
So I can't really do that many push-ups. It hurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather not. I could crank out push-ups still, but I'll pay for it the next 2-3 days, which affects my training. So if JT is running the class, which he sometimes does, JT Torres, right? Because I take some of his classes. He's like, all right, guys, get down and give me 40 push-ups. He knows my shoulder is busted. So I'm like, yo, if we're doing push-ups, I'm doing squats. I'm doing sit-ups or whatever. And he gets it. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you should be able to talk to your teacher about it, adjust for certain things. Hey, I'm just getting back. I'm a little bit gassed. Like, is it okay if I walk off and I get a little bit of water? And then if they're like, no, absolutely not. You have to do everything 100%. Then just do, you know, then you're in the wrong gym already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or the wrong class, you know?
Yeah, maybe you're in a competition class or whatever. The goal is different, right?
Just go back. I think the hardest part is walking in that room, you know, and I had that this morning. I didn't sleep too good last night. I had a little bit of a headache. And I was like, man, like, I could not go today easily. I felt that. I was like, I could not go. And it would be pretty glorious to just sit in my basement office and see where I'm at, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Beautiful.
Yeah, and play on my new toy. I have a new iPad Pro. You know,
oh, gosh.
13 inches, right? Yeah, this legit. You know, I want to play on it. You know, I want to play on it, explore new workflows and productivity videos. I want to watch that. I could have easily done that, dude. It would have been glorious. It would have been glorious because my parents are out. My kid's in camp. I dropped her off. It's like, it's so quiet.
Your me time. Yeah.
A cup of coffee. It would have been so easy for me not to go.
Yeah.
But I went.
Good. Well, what made you go? Just for the self-motivation? Did someone hit you up?
No one hit me up today, but people hit me up during the week because I missed Monday and Tuesday because of a work thing. Yeah. And then, you know, I got blood work done and my hemoglobin was a little bit too high. So I was like, I'll give blood, you know, so I donated blood, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I felt woozy, but, you know, and then my car had someone smashed my taillight when it was parked.
What?
So the only time I could have I scheduled this like a month in advance, right? Because Tesla, it's very difficult to get these appointments. So I had to like bring the car in, you know, work stuff, Higashi brand stuff. I had so many meetings, catch up things I had to do. It was literally too much to do this week where I was like, all right, cost benefit analysis here, you know?
Yeah.
And Monday, Tuesday, I felt great. And I was like, I wanted to go to Jiu-Jitsu. I really did. But I was like, I literally cannot. If I go to Jiu-Jitsu, these tasks will not get done.
Yeah.
And I have to prioritize these things. It was a active decision to not go.
You heard it here, guys.
Yeah. I missed on Monday.
Shintaro skips classes too.
Yeah, and then the guys text me, like, "Are you coming? Where are you?" The Damjoni, the teacher, was like, "Dude, you come? Why aren't you here? You're my roommate, bro. Like, who am I gonna use? You know, like." And then, you know, today it was opposite. I got most of the stuff done, right? But I didn't feel that good.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I could not go again, but I went. You know, and I did judo Wednesday night and stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I did judo.
Yeah.
You know, Monday and Wednesday.
But
judo is harder and easier at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Because you can. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Yeah, judo's
it's a strange beast.
It is a strange beast.
Yeah. So that's more on the physical side. Like I'll get back to and then but before you move on, shall we thank some people?
Yeah. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Jason, Levon, and Joe. You guys are doing so much for us. Thank you very much for supporting us. You too can support us through Patreon.
Yeah. That's right.
Other sponsors, judotv.com, the best place in the world to watch IJF World Tour, all the IJF events. It's really amazing. Use discount code Shintaro. And then, of course, higashibrand.com. I'm wearing gi shorts with pockets right now.
Yeah.
They are fantastic. They're selling out.
Yeah. Man, I just got the pants, but I'm like, I should get those shorts too.
You should, Peter.
Yeah.
You really should. They're really amazing.
I think, the shorts look great. And guys, if you wear your Higashi brand, I don't know if you guys have seen it on Instagram. You can take a picture of yourself, share it, and Shintaro will tag Shintaro. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, I'm seeing like, it's so cool to see all these like different people from all around the world.
Yeah, random people. I've sent these shorts to Germany, Switzerland, like Netherlands, Japan. Like I've sent it all these random places, and it's like kind of a cool thing, and they're really selling pretty quickly. But you know, people assume I'm making money on them. I'm really not, you know, because when you order a batch of 100, you know, like 5 or 6 of them come and they're like ripped, they're stained, you know, so you lose there's like breakage. You know what I mean? And then you give away a few, you know, because thanks a lot, you know, for doing what you're doing, you know, and you give away to a couple people, you know what I mean? And then like I personally wear it, so I'll take like 2 or 3. You know what I mean?
And then you sell,
and then you sell some, and then like the odd sizes are just sitting around.
Yeah, I see. All the X larges or whatever.
And then people return it because the judo videos that people buy from me, it never gets returned, right? Really ever.
Can you even return that?
No, but like, you know, but clothing, they're like, it's a little bit too big. Like, can I exchange it for a small? Like, I didn't think a medium was going to be big. I was like, did you wash it? It's like, no. I was like, if you wash it, it'll shrink. And then it's like, should I wash it? And then if it's still a little bit too big, then will you swap it out? It's like, then I can't sell it, you know?
Yeah.
And even if you like send it back, I still can't sell it because like God knows what you did with those pants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and then you get returns, and then at the end of the day, you know, like all of a sudden, you know, you spend X amount of dollars on the merch, you sell half, you haven't really quite made your money back, and then like you're running low on inventory, and then now you have to order more, so you have to go out of pocket again. It's brutal. It's brutal. But it's a economy of scale.
Yeah.
Right?
Once you have enough volume,
Yeah, the first 500, 1,000 units, they're not going to make money. You're just kind of reinvesting it and trying to pad your inventory. And then eventually when you're moving 5,000 units, 10,000 units, now all of a sudden, even those slim margins, like those 20, 30% margins, they matter because the revenue is much bigger. See, this is my MBA training.
Economy of scale. Let's get there, man. Let's get there. Yeah.
We'll see, you know, because right now you got to bootstrap it and do it all yourself.
Right.
You know, I'm like running a sweatshop down here with my Asian mama, you know, putting it in these baggies. Like,
oh my gosh, she's your packer.
You know, because like they sent me this, I bought stuff from these manufacturers and they jumbled it into a box once or twice. I'm like, bro, what do you do?
It's all
wrap them individually.
Wrinkled. Yeah.
And then they did, but then the baggies all broke. You know, while they're like tossing around the cartons of boxes, you know? So
and
like,
your poor mom is repackaging them.
And I'm like trying to shove it in there and like fold it and stuff, but I'm not, you know, my mama is very good at folding laundry.
Yeah, she's been folding your laundry.
Yeah, for 40 years. Yes. It's like, I got you. And she's like folding it, wrapping it, folding it, wrapping it, you know?
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, support your guys' brand. Yeah. Let's you know, how about this? Let's help Mama Higashi not have to fold Shintaro
Yeah.
stuff anymore.
Yeah, let's
you know?
see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
getting
So
back to judo.
Yeah, getting back to judo. So we talked about the physical side, like it's the overarching message is that let's just go back. Don't be like, oh, I gotta run more, I gotta
No, just
lift
go
more.
back.
No,
Yeah,
just
just
go
go
back,
back.
and then everything will follow. If you once you determine that it's good for you to go back, right? And you mentioned earlier interesting point about one of the reasons why someone would leave judo or BJJ, and it was because more of the cultural thing, like the gym's not good, but you've determined that you want to go back, but you probably don't want to go back to the same gym.
Go shop around for a different gym. It's completely okay. And that's why they have open mats now, you know, and that's sort of like open free market competition thing I think is good for grappling. It used to not be, you know, oh, why would you go to that gym? You shouldn't go to open mats. And like, you know, you could pick up a disease or whatever, you know, but I think it's a good thing now. You could shop around a little bit more, find the right gym for you.
So I mean, so shopping around the gym, right? Like you suggest open mats, and well, what else could someone do? I mean, open mats could be kind of intimidating.
Yeah,
you know, like it's just especially if you've been out of training.
Yeah,
you know,
go watch.
So
Go watch. You know,
just go watch.
Have a conversation with the staff. Are they warm? Are they friendly? What does the gym look like? Is it clean? Is it spacious? All that stuff matters. You know, if you're an educated consumer outside of the gym, when you do your research on certain things before you buy, do that for the gym.
Yeah.
It's a very important decision because
Just
you
like
could blow your knee out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of issues that come out, you know, when you go into these gyms. So you got to do your research. Yeah.
Think about how much research you would do to buy an iPad.
Like this one. I did.
Yeah.
I sat around and researched iPads for like a month. Seriously.
And then it's pretty crazy that
this thing.
For judo, like, I wouldn't be surprised if people spend less time looking for a gym than buying an iPad or iPhone.
What they do is search it and then pull up all the tabs and they call or message one by one. Whoever gets back to them first, that's the closest, gets the business usually.
Yeah.
That's generally how it works with most of these things, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why if you're running a gym, you have to be competitive by being in front of that. The people who wanted to sign up, you know?
But on the other side, I think as a gym goer, you should shop around.
You should shop around, but you gotta know yourself. Like I always say, like, you know, convenience is a huge factor. Like, Essential is amazing, but if it was 2 hours away, I don't think I'd go as often.
Oh, it's not sustainable. You got other things to do.
Yeah, you got other things to do, you know? So sustainability, all these things matter, you know, and then are you in a place where you can afford it is a big piece of it, you know, because it's an expensive hobby and it's not a one-off expense. It's not just a monthly fee. It's a new rash guard, the new gi. When they do seminars, jumping in for the seminars. You know what I mean? You don't want to be that guy coming in here.
You probably spend more money on BJJ and judo than your iPad in the long run.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like vacations, like.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
you did an episode
not
of
so
that.
much because I've been given a lot of gear. You know.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to spend on your hobbies.
Yeah.
If you start buying instructionals, you know, it's like never ends.
An iPad, what was it, like 2K now? 2000? No, is it? Yeah, but you get to use it.
Good.
You get to use it for 5 years, so you amortize it over those years.
Yeah.
You know.
And there was a Reddit post about like the best value purchase that you've ever had or something. Like, what was it, cost per use or something?
Yeah.
Value versus cost per use. And it's like, if you think of it that way, right? If you look at a dojo membership too, it's like you're paying for an unlimited class and then you get to go every single day of the thing. Now it's worth its weight in gold. You know, gym membership too. But if you only go once a month, you know, so see what your economic situation is. All these different factors has to kind of be considered. But the most important thing is you go back and then you get your foot back in the door. That's the hardest thing to do.
And shop around And I want to touch on Joe's specific situation now. I would imagine we had an episode about being a judo parent, right? And I think Joe was one of them. And a lot of times, parents maybe they used to do it as kids, and then their kids they stepped away because of parental duties, adult
Yeah, of
duties,
course.
adult
Of course.
responsibilities. But then their kids are old enough to do judo. They go. You have a lot of those at KVI too, right?
Yeah, tons.
Father son, father daughter, mother son daughter like duo, and yeah. So like parents may oh maybe I'll go with my kids and they'll like it more, right? And so what any recommendations? Like should you go to the kids class or do you go to the adults class separately? What do you think? What's the general trend you've seen?
I think obviously I do judo. My kid does judo, right?
Yeah.
Yumi doesn't go as much. She goes once a week, maybe if she goes, right? Having a conversation with her about judo is great because with the ballet, you really can't watch that class because the class is in the back. There's a waiting area for parents.
Yeah,
I peek through the window, but you can't really hear or see much.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a disconnect. And then you talk and see what kind of drills it did. There's not much there. You know what I mean? But with judo, it's like we go to the pool every weekend. And then it's like, all right, we're in the pool. We're messing around. And I say like ashiwaza and I like foot sweep her in the pool. You know what I mean? And then she'll do like ippon senagi in the pool. And I'm always trying to do like teach her how to do a somersault in the water. And sometimes I'll do like, it's like a Zempo. And then I'll hold her mouth and nose and like I'll flip her into the water and stuff like that. So like there's that judo connection even on the outside, So if you're doing judo, getting back into judo, like if someone like, like you, white belt, yellow belt, you don't know much about it, then it's very difficult, right?
Yeah.
But like if you have just a little bit of judo, then be like, oh yeah, Kemi, like even if you're like, do a couple classes, you just got back into it, you're a yellow belt, you did judo 6 months or something, you just get back into it, your kid's starting, kid falls on the playground, it's like, you're all right, you're Kemi, you're good. And now all of a sudden, there's a connection there that's something that you're bringing from your judo experience with your kid. You guys do this thing kind of together at the same location. You talk about it, and now you're at the playground, and you see there's a connection there. You know what I mean? So I think like these are sort of like the invisible benefits of like being in the program, with your kid. Also, if you're in the program, your kid's in the program, you're 10 times more valuable to that gym than the random guy that may quit in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So the teachers naturally should give you a little bit of extra attention. They just naturally gonna because you're paying more. You're paying for a family membership, whatever it is. Maybe there's an open mat situation where you could go in with the kids, talk to your gym manager or your teacher, right? If they can share the mat at some places, like I know Max Kafka has a gym out in, where is it? Wisconsin or something, or Minnesota, right? And he does like every week, they do like a family open mat thing where the parents and the kids go together. Kids, teach your dad's judo. Kids, teach your mom how to fall, all this stuff. And, they do it especially they do it on holidays because everybody knows like July 4th, no one's doing anything in the morning.
Right.
Nobody. Thanksgiving, no one's doing shit in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my kid and then get on the mat with my kid. And then we're going to have this fucking fun thing where we just bullshit and roll around and wrestle with each other. And then I'm not doing that. No way.
Right.
But Max does that. And then if there's things like this, and then you're already in shape and you have a gi and you have a belt and you're bowing and you're doing the proper thing and you're in shape and your kid knows what you're doing and you could talk about it. It's this like, hey, we're getting better together kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Extremely valuable,
So you don't necessarily have to go to the same class. You can kind of make the connection outside of the gym. In your daily life,
Papa gonna go, do something. I'll see ya. Versus like Papa gonna go judo at the gym.
Yeah,
where you do judo at the gym. So she's like, oh, I'm doing push-ups, I'm doing sit-ups, I'm doing the Papa probably doing that right now too.
Yeah,
and then you have this thing of like, hey, look, I'm trying to be in shape. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to learn how to slam guys on their head to protect people that I love. That's why you're doing it, to protect yourself. And then, right. So you're not just like putting him in a program, sitting on the side, reading your freaking Reddit or whatever it is. We're like, hey, you better train. And I'm fat and out of shape and not doing anything. Like there's no disconnect there.
Yeah.
You're living what you're preaching, really. And you're a good role model for your kid. And it's like, hey, sensei so-and-so, like, he's pretty great, huh? He's so in shape, huh? He said to work out really hard, so I'm working out hard. You're working out really hard.
Yeah.
That's a special thing for a family, you know?
Yeah.
So like, just get back into it, especially as a kid. I probably heard 3 or 4 people tell me I'm getting back into grappling now just this week because of my kids getting into grappling now.
Oh,
you know?
nice.
Yeah, and I've heard one guy's like, I probably should get in shape before I'm like, no.
No.
Like, don't get me started on that. You know, I was like, you just got me started. Let me tell you why you're gonna stay fat and not do it if you feel like you're gonna go do this. And this is like a friend of mine. Not my gym though. He's like just in general. He's like, I'm getting out of shape. I should probably do some wrestling or something and go back into grappling because my kid's going back into grappling. But I'm gonna lose 10 pounds first. I was like, bro,
not gonna happen.
Do you want to stay fat, bro? Like, that's almost exactly what I said, dude. I was like, you want to stay out of shape? You do that. But just sign up and go, bro.
Yeah.
Is what I said.
It makes sense. Yeah. And I think we talked about this a lot in our like judo parent episode. You know, what kids want is like to spend more time with you and then be more connected to you as their parents. And I mean, this is a good way. And don't, like Shintaro mentioned, don't think like you have to be in shape to make that connection, you know. Maybe kids will like it. It's like, oh, I'm better than you, Dad, kind of thing.
It's the best, dude. It's the best.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it's so fun. And then sometimes it's like dad and parent getting their belts together, you know what I mean? They give the kid one belt before him, and then, 2 days before, and the kid gets all juiced up. It's a great thing. But, just get back into it. Get back into it, and then take your time. Don't do randori for at least 2 weeks to a month.
Yeah.
Don't get hurt. Then, you don't get any benefit out of it.
Right.
The benefits come in a long, sustained period of training, 3 to 6 months. That's it. So like, if you get hurt before that, you reap none of the benefits and all the downsides and the bad stuff. You're going to hurt your knee first day back. You're not going to want to go back even more. And then now you can't work out for 3 weeks while you recover. You're going to get fatter and more out of shape. Terrible. Don't get me started on that.
Oh man. Yeah. We always talk about that. But stay healthy, but ease into it. But it's better to get back on the mat and ease into it.
Definitely. Get back on the mat.
Cool.
Get back up.
All right. I think that covers it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Yeah. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you guys for all your support always. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it.
All right. Thanks guys for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.